Good morning, everybody. It is currently the 5th of June, 2011 out here, and actually starting this update out a little bit different than what I typically do. Why? Because I'm actually going to touch on a topic I don't like touching on very often. It's actually the topic of global warming and climate change. Mainly because I did read an article this morning in a magazine that I picked up at the newsstand yesterday. It's available basically anywhere back in the States. I do see it at plenty of bookstores out here in Japan, and also seeing this particular magazine down in Australia as well. It is Newsweek, and on the cover it is clearly demonstrated weather panic. Well, that kind of caught my eye and I wanted to get into it, mainly because I think Newsweek kind of went over the edge on this one. They did touch on a couple of very important topics, including some of the permafrost actually being melted up here in Alaska. This is causing some instability in the ground, and a lot of houses are actually getting toppled over because of it. But actually in the bottom right of this, and just above it, you do see the picture of the Cape Hatteras lighthouse moving away from the coast. Well, that's basically due to natural erosion near the coast, which I find to be a natural event out there, just due to the erosion off the coast. And this actually happened over 10 years ago. There was a lot of talk about it, but really it's just because this lighthouse was built up near the coast. Another thing I do want to mention, though, is something that news medias do not tend to mention, in the fact of global warming and the overall deaths associated with such events as back in the United States the last several weeks. Been a lot of tornadic events. It's because the tornadic events are unprecedented, and that is something no one can disagree with. But the fact that the high deaths associated with it, and the most deaths in recorded history, is because history only goes back about 50 years in some of that region out there, just due to the fact that history is defined as written records. Well, if you go back past 50 years, the population in that region was exceptionally sparse. Written records not really defined out there, thus the most recorded deaths in history. This is actually worldwide as well. As you can see, the population in the world is overall booming, doubling in the past 100 years. Thus, death tolls are actually getting higher worldwide. Well, this is just because people are moving into areas of the world that were once not populated. Thus, the quote here is not to adapt, is to consign millions of people to death and disruption, actually from the Newsweek article. This is partially true, but mainly because, as I already stated, the overpopulation of the earth, not so much of the changing in weather. Yes, the weather is slightly changing, but a lot of people are moving into low-lying areas, river deltas and such, and thus deaths are increasing in many of these areas where extreme weather was already dominating. For example, actually in Kuala Lumpur, as noted here, the smart tunnel is used to divert floodwater. I actually found this interesting because I've actually been through this tunnel a few times before. But the fact is that Kuala Lumpur is in a tropical rainforest per se, so there's always been heavy rain showers, always been thunderstorms there. Just now there is a city on top of it. So this is kind of a bad reference to use for the global weather change. Just because there's more population in the region doesn't mean the climate itself is changing in that region. But that is all for right now, everybody. If you want, please go out and pick up this topic, or this article of Newsweek. Weather Panic is sold basically anywhere back in the States. I've also seen it sold in Australia, and many of the bookstores out here in Asia do carry it as well. And there's plenty of pretty much controversial topic in there, and I'm sure this video is going to incite some topic as well. So please post your comments in the box below if you do have anything. I always do enjoy some of the viewers' responses back on such discussions as this. Not one thing I do like to touch very often, just due to the controversy behind global warming, but something I do think that needs to be brought up and mentioned from time to time. But right now I want to move on to your local forecast across the Western Pacific here. The stationary front, or the rainy season stationary front, does continue across eastern China and throughout the Ryukyu Island, as depicted on KMA's analysis right in here. It is clearly defined here as the latest widespread area of convection coming across eastern China, northern Taiwan, and much of the Ryukyu Islands, producing some rain showers throughout the region today, expecting that throughout the rest of the weekend. Actually, throughout the rest of the week, much of the Ryukyu Islands could continue to see these rain showers, as JMA has officially announced the beginning of the rainy season here. Throughout much of Honshu today, especially the Kanto Plain, going to be seeing a beautiful day today. Definitely another beach weather day to get out there. Actually, I'm going to head myself out to Kamakura, just south of Tokyo here. See some sights out there today as well. But moving towards the southwest monsoon, still kind of starting to build up here across the Philippines. Seeing fair weather early in the morning today, but definitely by the afternoon, the evening, some of those afternoon rain showers are going to start to kick in. And we still have this Invest 92W here just southeast of Yap. Kind of seeing some cyclonic circulation in the midst of this. Yet JTWC did drop the low warning warning on it, but it still continues to be watched on here. Not many of the models still pick up on this, as there still is a fairly decent amount of wind shear just along the northern periphery up in this region. But sea surface temperatures are there. It is south of 10 degrees north, which kind of takes away that Coriolis effect on it right now. But just want to still watch it here, as there is that low level circulation in the midst of this still pretty prevalent here with those sea surface temperatures. So I still think it still has the potential for developing in the next several days here. It's not really in the near future, but by the latter part of this week, it could have the potential of developing here just east of the Philippines. So I just want to still watch it. And the other invest out here affecting Asia is this 98A here, still out in the Andaman Sea. Very, very disorganized right now, though, and I don't expect any development to come out of this. But the upward vertical motion associated with this does continue to enhance thunderstorms throughout much of northern Thailand here and out to Burma. So we're going to continue to see these heavy rain showers and thunderstorms throughout the region. They're just enhanced by this, but not really going to expect any tropical development out of it. But as stated before, please post your comments and suggestions in the comment box below or on the shout box. You can also email me at westpackweather@gmail.com. But thanks again for listening, everybody. I hope you did enjoy my review on this article. If you did not enjoy it, I don't mind hearing that as well. Just please don't troll up the place. But I do like to get some feedback on this. So thanks again, everybody, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.